I had the opportunity to listen to some people setting some great appointments, having some amazing conversations. Also learned a lot of things on how we can kind of frame this conversation a lot better. So I'm going to break down a few lead sources, and then we'll talk about how you explain it, how you get their attention, and then from there, how do you start implementing follow-up boss and using the email campaigns, text campaigns. And then also we're going to go through how to leverage seller options, because to be really successful at this, the main ingredient that you want to have is options. There's not a one-size-fits-all for every seller. And for some of you, you haven't seen our seller options. We didn't need them for probably a while because it was just like, hey, we're just going to sell your house. But now these options are extremely critical because people aren't selling. In fact, 850 now in the last 2 days. 850 sellers just came off the market in the last 2 days. Think about that just for a second. 850 opportunities to go and make $15,000, $10,000, $5,000, $50,000, depending on the price. I mean, there was 4 million ones in there, 6 million. We had a $21 million expired. So why aren't we going after them as hard as we are buyers?
Commission.
Commission. What do you mean by that, Tanya? So why would commission be a factor?
Because buyers, they don't pay commission and the seller does. So you have to sell yourself more than with a buyer.
Yeah, so thank you, Tanya. So that's one of the reasons, right? So we have this idea in our head that since we're actually charging the person, that gives us anxiety, right? Instead of I work with a buyer and then someone else is going to pay us and the buyer doesn't have to give me any money, so I feel warm and fuzzy. So that's definitely one of the things. The biggest thing that I see the most is we're not confident in our presentation. So in presentation, meaning two things: our actual when we get there to the home, and actually what to say on the phone, right? We get nervous, we start going, They hit you with the left, they hit you with the right, you don't know how to counterpunch, you don't know how to duck, and you're just getting hit in the jaw, and then you go, that was unpleasant, I'm not doing that anymore. We got to think this through. I just had an amazing conversation yesterday with one of our partners. And I said, all right, let's do math. And just because I want you to make sure you're really clear on this. In our system, you get a 70-30 split on any listing lead that you go and convert. Our mindset is looking at it going, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to focus on receiving leads and then have a 50% split because we have to pay for these leads and they're extremely expensive. Then I'm gonna sometimes have to pay a referral fee because Zillow Flex is just crushing us, right? But they know, hey, look, you'll do it, somebody will do it. And I'm not saying you don't want these, you still wanna do them, but you want them to supplement your income until you work with strictly listings, period. Then every day on a silver platter, these are these beautiful, delicious listing leads that are just going yum, 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 just laid up to you going, I'm here, I'm delicious. No one's probably going to taste me though, because fear. You're going, right? Lindsay, remember, Lindsay, I got to enjoy her eating her first oyster with me, and she was scared to eat that oyster. Now she loves them. She's just eating oysters all the time. She can't stop eating oysters, right? She's just hosing them down. But that first one, she was like, you want me to really? Yes, it's delicious. It's good for you, okay? That's what listing leads are, and you're getting them every morning and you're ignoring them for some reason. Now, besides expireds, we've got a slew of listing leads. So let's always go through our check down. Expireds for sell by owners, notice of elective demand, people that are past due on their mortgages that need their problem solved probably pretty quickly. Rent by owners, meaning that they want to rent their property. You're going to call and sell it so they don't have to deal with another terrible tenant. Then absentee owners, people that own properties that don't live in the property or live out of state, that at some point we know are going to sell the property. It just depends when and when you're going to be there. Then just sold, my next favorite call. We just sold a home in your neighborhood. It sold in 3 days, 9 days, 22 days, sold for this amount of price. And I'm still working with several buyers right now that missed out on that opportunity. So I was calling you today to see if you'd like to sell your home in 65 hours or less for over market value. That seems like a pretty simple call. They're either going to say yes, no, or Don't call me again. Then just listed, I just listed the home in your neighborhood, and we know that it's going to sell very quickly with our innovative Sold in 65 program. We sell homes in 65 hours or less. So what I'm doing is I'm calling all the neighbors to see if you or anyone you know in the area might be interested in selling. So have you thought about where you might move next if the time was perfect and the money was right? Seems pretty easy call. So why don't we do it?
So I know for me, like I came to the January 1st or whatever session that was, I could not get out of my mental. And I think I need to build my mental for these conversations because, of course, it sounds great when you do it. You're confident, you know what you're doing. But for me, I just, as soon as they say something that throws me off, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. So I think I need to do some personal mental building skills because all of it sounds genius and it sounds like it should work, but it's not that easy when you make the calls and people start talking to you and you feel torn down, even though they're not being mean. It's me, it's my mental.
Thank you, Tanu. If I wanted to learn a foreign language, how would I do it? If I wanted to learn Mandarin, Spanish, Italian, what would I do? What would be the steps I would take to learn that language?
Probably find a provider like Rosetta Stone, Babbel, whatever, research providers, sign up, attend the courses.
And then I'd have to practice, right, Tanu? I'd have to try to start speaking the language to someone all the time. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's the same thing to build confidence, right? So if you were going to do this, the same thing when she's talking about like Rosetta Stone or Babbel, whatever it is, all they do is they go, all right, I want you to say it back to me, record it. I have Rosetta Stone, I have a headset, you record it back into there, and then they show you another image. You do it over and over again, but you have to do it over and over and over and over and over until you start to internalize it. Some of you are trying to memorize it still. Some of you aren't even trying to memorize it, which is a problem. Some of you have got it memorized, but you haven't internalized it yet. You're trying to say it like someone else instead of trying to say it like you and understanding what you're trying to put across, right? You're not clear enough on the real moral of the story, right? You're giving them the cliff notes. So what I want you to think about, especially in 2023, is how am I going to build in the reps to get my confidence up so I stop playing this buyer roller coaster? Why would I want to wake up every day and go, you know what? I hope that this person that I'm calling on, first of all, can qualify to get a loan. Second of all, has a credit score. Third of all, has the cash. Fourth of all, has the desire. Fifth of all, is going to find the perfect home. Sixth of all, is going to have me drive the entire state of Colorado until they find the perfect home, until I finally stab myself in the eye. That's just stupid. It's so stupid. Instead, let me paint this world for you. I wake up, I either go to the office or I go to my home office and have these real leads that are sitting in front of my desktop every single day. And all I have to do is learn 2 or 3 really good scripts and dialogues and have a presentation to go show them, which we have, and earn their business with 1 appointment and then a 1-hour VIP showing window. So 2 hours to make 15K, whatever the number is.